I personally modeled since I was 16, so I've always been like surrounded by like photography. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, I will say, and that's why I wanted authenticity to become what it was. I was told, you're gonna be hungry if you want to be a fitness model, or like your face doesn't fit this box, or you're not tall enough for editorial modeling, runway fashion, etc. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And I wanted to create a safe space for everybody and have a diverse community because I noticed it's not diverse. And I wanted to make that space, and authenticity is where that came from, I guess. Obviously, I went to Temple University, shout out to you, for media studies and production, and I got my bachelor's and my master's in it. I did see myself being on camera. I've always wanted to be on camera. That's my thing. That's where I shine the most. I'm very media forward I'm like really good on camera. I know this. I think I did that by being in front of the camera my senior year for a talk show. I just didn't know my niche, and I learned that there's more types of media than just news, thankfully. But it was hard as a freshman, honestly. Like, the Temple clubs are intimidating.
So we met our first semester of college. I remember being in a dorm room, and she like walks through this door, and she was like the coolest girl ever. She knew everyone. She knew where to go on campus. She was the cool, fun girl that everyone wanted to be friends with. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way like I'm actually gonna be friends with this girl. At that time, that was like in a 9-person friend group, and we are the only 2 friends from that friend group. So it worked out, yes. Met her at school in a dorm room, and I thought she was the most intimidating person ever. So when she was doing her master's program last year, part of her master's program was putting on a fashion show.
Okay, I'm working on my master's project, and it's about corsets and how women are constricted. Like, corsets are a symbol of constriction, but then they can also be liberated, and women are reclaiming the corset.
I mean, I did it for school, right? So that was obviously a drive, and I needed to do it. I didn't need to do something to that extent or that extremity. I'm like just kind of psycho, and that's it. With 100+ people attending and 60 models and all these designers and la 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 la. I think that helped with the momentum. I wasn't overwhelmed by the feat at all, not at all. I really love it. I love the challenge. I love the pursuit. And I'm like somebody who's like, if it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. That's it. What's the worst you could do, Phil?
So Rachel was like, I'm putting on this fashion show for my master's project. I would really love some help with like the media side of it, getting it out there, getting people to like talk about it. And that's kind of how it started. She just was like, if you want to, would you be willing to do this?
I was manic. I was like a freaking Mad Hatter in my room. Like, my wall looked like last year was just a bunch of different colored sticky notes and drawings and stuff all put together.
Like, I finished this like 2 seconds ago, and I had to sit down and be like, wait a second. I have no idea what this means, but I may know what this means.
It was just my baby, and I really was proud of Figures and what Figures was as a fashion show. And everybody who participated was like, when is this next one? And I'm like, whoa.
She had talked about making this more of a full-time thing and turning it into authenticity projects. We just didn't know what to call it at the time. But the success of her figure show for her master's project, I mean, it was just a much bigger success than we were expecting.
I have these like 2 a.m. thoughts or 3 a.m. thoughts or 4 a.m. thoughts that just will come to my head as I'm trying to fall asleep. And that phrase, like authenticity, was something I had to get out of my bed and write down. That's where the name came from. The inspiration comes from the people that come to the team. I have no idea how I built a team, to be honest. I asked people to be involved last year to help assist in terms of crew, photography, etc. And people wanted to be a part of this, especially women, because that's what it was. It was embracing women. I want people to feel safe. I want people to feel heard and seen. And that's what I want from authenticity. And in fashion and modeling, it's not frequent where you'll find a safe space where people will actually coach and guide you My head team currently is Alana, who's the social media director, and Trevor Charles, who is the public relations director. And then I myself am the creative director and have that department.
This was my first year, I would say, as the PR manager for Authenticity. I'm very much a behind the scenes person. I don't like being in the front, but I like being the person behind the camera or helping the person that is in front of the camera.
So my name is Alana Palmer. With Authenticity Projects, I am the social media coordinator. With social media, it's really easy to kind of just like bring a concept to life without having to have a bunch of equipment. You can literally just use your phone. It's literally free marketing. Our approach that we've kind of been doing, it's just been like literally building it up from the ground up with zero money.
We are running on no capital. We are completely either current or former student run. We're all doing it voluntarily. So I wanted to establish us as legit, incredible, and professional as possible.
I feel like we've definitely gotten a lot closer over the past few months, just like preparing for the fashion show, doing all the photo shoots. We were pretty much seeing each other like almost every week. Our whole mission is to like have everybody included. I personally often feel like my voice is heard whenever we have creative projects and photo shoots. Like everyone is able to input their, ideas and stuff.
What's been the most exciting shoot you've done for Authenticity?
I think either the barbershop or the one that we did at Tattooed Moms. I think that was really fun and those photos came out really nice. I think that one was fun just because we were all able to just hang out and chill. There was literally nobody there, so we kind of had like the creative freedom to kind of like do whatever. And then with the barbershop shoot, when I was editing, it was very like airy and vintage and it kind of fit the vibe that we were going for, so I'm proud that I was able to like execute that.
So my name is Priscilla Elizabeth Welch, also known as Liza Brown. And my background in modeling actually started like a year ago. I kind of wanted the experience to build more like confidence, especially for, plus size woman models out there.
My name is Cam Fan, and I've always wanted to model as like a little girl's dream. I feel like everyone wants to model at some point. I actually began my journey through Authenticity Projects. I was on Instagram one day, I saw that they were casting. It said it was inclusive to everyone, open to everyone of all experience levels, and I just thought it would be really fun.
I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw the opening for Authenticity Models, and I was like, why not? So I just applied. Yeah, I remember being super nervous to walk in front of, I think it was Rachel, Alana, and someone else. This was like in May.
I was really reading through before I even signed up for it, like what it stands for. And again, it's just going back to like something that has to do with me. Like I'm not doing this for, all the wrong reasons. I'm doing it for the right reasons. And I like the fact that authenticity represents that.
I found myself modeling. It actually began with Rachel's thesis project, the first campaign called Figures. I really wanted to learn how to accept my body the way that it was. And I was ready to really start learning how to get used to seeing myself, because I always ran away from my own shadow.
I just kept like signing up, showing face, meeting the photographers, meeting the stylists, meeting the team, and they just welcomed me. So I felt really comfortable there. Everyone here is like trying to get their foot in the door, make something for themselves, and that was my favorite thing about it.
To put together bigger shows and things of that nature, you need a great crew. You need people that's going to be on top of their stuff. And that's one thing I like with authenticity as well, because even though we're all young, we have this mindset and this drive where we don't let that stop us.
I remember meeting October 2023. This is this like 18. This is the starting team for Authenticity. This is where I want to see this go like a year from now in September 2024. And I remember sitting there like, oh, like, yay, this is fun. Like a little like passion project to do on the side. Like, just like a little light lift, like, like book club. No.
So the Not My Responsibility fashion show was a lot different than Figures because I had a whole team and I was by myself for Figures. I did it all alone. I sent all the texts alone. I did all the call sheets by myself. I did all the photo shoots set up by myself, literally everything.
So we had department heads. Each department head had interns, and we had deadlines, a plan, like an action plan in place from start to finish. It was truly incredible to see that all to come together.
my god, this is so real.
I know. We did it.
I love this with each designers and everything. Oh my god, I mean, it was framed. Like,
why the name Not My Responsibility?
Wow, because I mean, I'm struggling with this now, and like the opinions of others don't matter. They don't, you know, but I'm projecting. That's me, you know. I have had social anxiety online and on Instagram and just like presenting myself as me. And I think that the Billie Eilish song is really inspirational because, you know, it was a poem over like a soundtrack, and I really enjoyed that.
You have opinions about my opinions.
And it spoke to me, and that's how that blossomed. You know, I knew I was speaking to other people, but after the show, I was like, holy cow, I really spoke to myself.
We had interns, there was fashion shows, it was making several mood boards, several concepts, there were multiple photo shoots as well. There were a lot of moving parts and environments that we couldn't control, like shooting out in public and not in studio or not in a controlled environment is tough.
It was truly an incredible experience. It really put my skills to the test. Rachel knew exactly what she wanted for the brand. If we weren't able to deliver exactly what she wanted, then she worked exactly with you to be like, okay, what can we do to get there? Or what's an alternative then to this so that we can eventually get to this, but you know, maybe let's do something different in the meantime.
You have to constantly learn and, you know, adapt and pivot. And I'd say that's the only challenge, but would I say it's difficult? At times, but we've dealt with it. I'm gonna be corny for a second, but failing, there's this acronym, first attempt in learning. Fail, okay? And I tell people this, like, you're supposed to fail multiple times. When you learn to walk, how many times do you fall down? You know what I mean? So I'm not scared of that. And I think once you get over that, things come into perspective and you're like, this is manageable.
The second show definitely had a more artistic presentation with the venue, the inclusion of the silent auction. As a whole, it was much more elevated.
The space was a lot bigger. We had a lot more people. We had a bigger team, and it was also very interactive. So I was able to like kind of move throughout the space and get different shots and different angles. So that was nice.
I've been to other runway shows where it wasn't like that top notch, where even how nice it looked, you know, decorative wise, like you didn't really need much. I love the idea of like when we actually did our runway walk, when we walked as a group and when we walked as solo, like it was very creative of how we did the runway shoot. The different spots that we had, like in the pit, people lined up here, you know, like sitting down, like it was different shots of like photos. It was awesome.
I thought the venue was beautiful. I thought it was different. I really liked the aspect that we were going to be walking around the entire building, going to be in different rooms. The fact that the audience members were separated. One of the audience members that came to see me, they said that it felt very intimate, which was different than the past shows that they've been to.
I didn't realize when I was actually walking, I was walking to my voice. So that felt really, really cool to be, again, like part of that. And then to hear myself, I'm like, because I used to hate my voice, like the playback of my voice. But for some reason with the music and just modeling to it, like it was awesome. It was an awesome feeling.
It was low-key stressful, but like once we got the show running, it was like, in my eyes, it was just so perfect. Like seeing people's reactions, like seeing the video go up, seeing the amount of people that were actually there, it was like, wow, like all our hard work like really paid off.
Authenticity is on my brain at least every day, twice a day. So I think the motivation also is driven by passion, and the people involved are very passionate. So I think that's how that goes in terms of motivation.
We're appreciating, you know, diversity. We're appreciating each other's voice. We're learning about each other, and we're trying to see how far, you know, this can take us.
I feel like we already have such a really unique niche. A lot of the time people say, oh, that's industry standard, you know, things are just like that. But I think for us, we're really trying to show that like things don't always have to be like that. Like we can like kind of redefine literally how the fashion industry works, and then hopefully fashion doesn't always have to be this one boxed in thing.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see authenticity in 5 years?
Pass. I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever. It's such an interview question. For this, I really just want it to be what it's supposed to be. I want it to mold the way it's supposed to mold, and I want myself to mold the way it's supposed to mold. I would love to be self-employed in 5 years, but I would also love to be self-employed in like tomorrow. So if it happens tomorrow, I would love that.
I love watching them grow. I really love watching them grow. Every single time they just keep getting better and better and better.
Being there from the start, I think that's the coolest thing ever. So whenever this grows, I'll be like, hey guys, I was a part of this when I was younger. You know, you can tell your kids that, you can tell your friends that.
I'm honestly so proud. I'm so proud to have been there from the beginning. Seeing Rachel grow this from, like, it started out as being her master's project to what it is now and the platform that it's able to be for those who want to get started modeling or for those who are modeling. I think it's just so amazing to witness and be a part of.
Would I do anything differently? I would tell myself I'm doing okay. That's what I would do. And just not have imposter syndrome. Talk to somebody who inspires you. Even just DM them. That's what I would say. Do that. Find a mentor. Also, get involved. Don't be scared. F up a little bit. I think it's okay. Just do it. Mwah. You can do it. Thank you so much for just being invested in listening to me gab about this. Follow Authenticity Projects if you want, and then you'll become obsessed. So, that's it.